Good morning, everyone. I'm Sharon. Thank you for spending your very early Wednesday morning with me on this talk, Redefining Talent Pathway in Digital Age. Let me briefly introduce myself. I'm currently a lecturer and consultant in NUS ISS, working in digital strategy and leadership practice. I manage courses, programs related to digital leadership, such as business agility, digital business analyst, talent and leadership pathway, which is very related to the theme of my talk this morning. Now, before I joined NUS ISS, I had worked in a retail industry for over 20 years as a business and technology leadership role in some of the global retail companies. Now, during this talk, I would like to invite you to send in your questions for me to answer at the end of this webinar. You can put in your questions in the Q&A box. Let's get started. Now, I would like to ask you to look at these two pictures and tell me who is the top salesman today. Now, if I were to ask you this question, say 10 or 20 years ago, most of us will definitely say, hey, that's the guy on the left, right? A salesperson who has mastered his sales pitch, who has excellent interpersonal skills that make him the superstar in the company. But today, in the digital age, with the explosions of e-commerce, AI, data, the top salesman in the company likely could be this guy sitting behind the computer screen, busy building the best algorithm to predict what is the next best selling product in the marketplace. What are the products the customer will likely to buy? And these are the AI engineers, it could be the data scientists or the data analysts. So indeed, digitalization has impacted the value of skills in many businesses across wide industries. So today, this talk is about how talent pathways have been redefined in the digital age. We will focus on two key questions. First, what are the most critical roles and skills needed by the business today and how that will evolve in the future? And then who and where are these talents with the right skill to fill these critical roles? So where do we start? We'll start looking at how our business strategy have been aligning with our talent strategy. We know even today we have the best business strategy in the world. It will not work if we do not have the right talent with the right skill to execute them. Our talent strategy has to start with the business strategy. First, to understand what the business is trying to achieve in the next 1 to 3 years. And then we work backward and analyze what are the talent, what are the skills that we need to bring where the business today to where the business wants to be in the future. And today, we all know we are working and living in this VUCA world that is volatile, unpredictable, complex, and ambiguous. And we definitely need a very agile business strategy and to be supported by equally agile talent strategies to adapt to the fast-changing marketplace today. And we also see the shelf life of professional skills today are getting shorter and shorter each day or each year. The high demand skills that we are seeing today, the data analytics skills, the AI skills, the cloud skills, this high demand skill will continue to evolve when the next generations of technologies emerge in the near future. Therefore, our talent strategy has to be very adaptable with fast decision making to constantly look at how the organizations continue to upskill and reskill our internal talents, to look beyond our organization to see who are the freelancers, the gigs workers with the specialized skill that we need to support our new business strategies. To definitely to also look at how the current technologies are also emerging technologies are going to support and to drive our business forward despite the VUCA business environment today. Our talent strategy has to connect with what our business offer to the market. Today, we often hear many companies are hiring data scientists, data analysts, or the AI engineers. And all of a sudden, we also realize that our own organizations need them too. Now, the important things to note here is we have to be very clear how are these talents are going to support our business strategies. How are they going to create the value that is defined by our business? How are they going to achieve our short-term goals and at the same time also supporting our long-term business goal? If this is not clear, then we will have a disconnect talent strategy with our business strategies. Now, after when we have a clear business strategy and our business visions, the next questions we want to ask is, where are the critical roles in our organizations? Typically, we believe most of our critical roles are at the top of our org chart, the CEO, the C-level executive. No doubt, the top leadership roles, they are very important to drive the business forward. But we want to think again, not all roles in the same level of hierarchy create the same value. In fact, some of the critical roles could be 3 or 4 levels down the organization hierarchy. Now, as we continue to analyze where are our critical roles that will help us to create significant business value, we may notice some of these critical roles may not even exist in our organization today. It could be the data scientist, it could be the AI engineer, it could be the IT solution architect, or it could be the customer success specialist that we need to quickly create them and hire them and put them back into our organization. Now, after we have identified where are our critical roles, next we ask where and who are the talents to fill this role. Today we have access to a diverse pool of digital talents. Of course, first of all, we are very comfortable and familiar having our full-time employees and some part-time employees to form most part of our workforce. And today, these employees, they are digital savvy professionals. They should be comfortable interacting with technologies. They know how to apply and use the technologies to create new opportunities for the business, to know how to solve new problems and create new value for the customers. At the same time, with the rise of digital platform service and hyper connectivity, we see freelancer with specialized expertise has become one of the important source of talent for our workforce, where they can supply the on-demand skill for the business as and when the business need them, especially those business are navigating a fast changes in the industry. And no doubt, we cannot ignore AI, robotics, automations has become a significant part of our workforce today. Now, besides automating our routine tasks, which is a new normal in the business world today, these intelligence technologies, they are also working hand in hand with the employees to perform higher order thinking tasks, such as decision making and prediction analysis. We can also see our digital talents in these 4 broad categories. They are digital transformer, digital composer, digital professional, and digital expert. The top leaders in the organization, the CEO, the C-level executive, they are the digital transformer who develop strategies and disruptive capabilities that can help their organizations to survive and thrive in the age of digital disruptions today. They master transdisciplinary skills such as sense making. diligently sensing the business environment, to be able to separate the facts from the noise, picking up the right signal to anticipate the changing trend of the industry, to anticipate the future need of the customer. They are definitely critical thinkers. They are able to make good and fast decisions using technologies such as data analytics. Most of the senior leaders in the organizations today, they are digital composers who are expert in integrating talent and technologies to maximize business performance. They have strong integration skills. They are critical thinkers. They are able to solve complex problems using system thinking. They have good social intelligence with strong business domain skill to help them navigate the complex organizational integrations. Most of the employees in the organization today, beside the top leaders, they are the digital professionals who are digital savvy, having high DQ, what we call digital quotients, to know how to use technologies to create new value for the business and also for their customers. They are well versed in the concept of ecosystem and platforms. They know how to use various tools and techniques such as design thinking to create human-centric product and services to meet their customers' expectations. And today, in every digital business, we need to have digital experts. These are the technical experts who have deep technical skills in a specific domain that are relevant for the business. For example, the platform architects, the AI engineers, the data engineers that we know today. Now, after we know who are these digital talents, what they do, what skill do they have, we then explore how the organizations are organizing this talent, these people in their business or in their organizations so that they can maximize the business performance, they can best serve their customer needs. Today, we still see many organizations are organizing their people by fixed functional roles that has a set of tasks that require specific skills to execute them. For example, the sales role, marketing role, product development role, and so on. And we also see some of these roles are sharing common skill. For example, the sales role and the marketing role, they are sharing common skills such as customer service skill or even decision-making skills. The question we want to ask here, are such functional job role focus are still effective to continuously meet our fast-changing customer expectations in the marketplace today? What we observe is for those business teams, they are still very much working in their own functional silo role. They are typically, they could be a step slower, right? Respond to the market changes, compare to their competitors who are forming multidisciplinary teams with dynamic skills that can they can deliver end-to-end service for their customers. So instead of focus on what are the important roles to serve our customer today, we want to shift our focus on skills. What are the critical skills that could constantly able to meet the changing customer expectation, constantly able to adapt to the changing, evolving industry trend? After we have identified the critical skill, the next thing we want to look at, who are the talents that have this right mix of skill, right, to be part of our workforce? Are these skills already available in our existing employees, right, our internal talents? Or do we have to look outside our organizations to see who are the freelancers with this specialized skill that we need to support our business as and when there's a requirement for such skill? And what are skills that can be automated by the by the current technologies or maybe the upcoming emerging technologies. And as we continue to put the customer as the focus in our business value creations process, we may also notice and discover some of these skills and the talents may not even exist today that will need to be redefined later. Now, instead of organization our people in the hierarchical functional job roles, which usually also hinder the seamless flow of informations, value and skill across the organizations, and also delay our response to the market changes, we see many organizations today redesign their team structures by putting individuals with diverse skills and knowledge together and work as one team. These cross-functional and autonomous teams, they are highly empowered to make decisions, and they are also accountable to meet the targeted outcomes set for them. And some of the best practice that we see, how the companies are organizing such cross-functional teams, they can go by the product line. They can also organize the people by customer journey, and some even go by the business value stream. Now, no doubt, such agile and autonomous team, they can make fast decisions, they can respond to the business need or customer needs, flexibility. They are at the same time able to maintain stability in the organizations by having strong alignment within the team and also among the team with the organization vision, with the overall organization's goal. So what can we learn from this football team in terms of forming and leading an autonomous team? If you notice, first of all, this team has a very clear shared goal or shared purpose. So in this example, this team, their focus, their shared purpose is to score as many goals as possible at their opponent end and win every game and win the league champion. At the same time, if you look at the members in the team, each of them have unique skill and strength that complement each other to meet the team objective or the team goals. They can't maximize their team performance if they have a lack of certain players or lack of a certain team member with the required skills. And if you look at when they are working on the field, when they are playing on the field, they are empowered to make decisions, how they want to shoot the ball, who they want to pass the ball for, or who are shooting at the goal. They don't need their coach or their managers at the sideline to tell them what to do. So the managers or the coach leading such autonomous team do not direct what this team should do. Do not micromanage them for sure, right? However, this coach will be able to help this team to coach them how to work together to make sure the teams are aligned with the targeted goals, with the organization's goals, with the organization vision, with what they are doing. And these are the characteristics of autonomous team that we see more and more building up in the corporate setting. Now, before we get too excited and start to change our team structure in the organizations to build autonomous team, there are some important questions we have to consider as a business leader, taking the perspective of the employers and of course from the employees, because not everyone know how to work in such new ways of working or in this new autonomous team. So the first question we need to ask is why, right? Why do we need to change the way we work as a team, right? Is this the best way how our people work together to maximize our performance, to deliver the new value for the customers, and to innovate constantly, right? The other important question is also to ask ourselves and also the employees, do we have the right skill to embrace these new ways of working, to work in such an empowered and autonomous team. Because the team members in such team, they are empowered to make their decisions, their certain decisions. So the question we want to find out is that, does the employees have access to the data? Do they have knowledge? Do they have the skills to make good decisions to meet the team objective? And also, the other important skills is collaboration skill, right? Because when we work in an autonomous team, very often we find ourselves, we work with people coming from different backgrounds, bringing different perspectives, right? As the team work together. So do we have the right and strong collaboration skill so that we can be able to embrace different perspectives and be able to collaborate and innovate new solutions or new products and services to serve our business, to serve our customers. And the other important question we need to consider is really what is in it for me as an individual by working in this new team structure? How does it benefit the team, and how does it eventually benefit the organizations? What are the trade-offs that we need to be aware of? Where are the risks that we need to mitigate? Because we also understand some managers may feel uncomfortable leading in such new team structures. They may have fears that they could be losing control or even losing their credibility when they find that they have no longer direct control on such team. And also, we also have to assess the readiness of the employees with these new ways of working. Right? We have to also find out whether employees are ready to be empowered to make decisions, to be empowered to even take risks, because some may still have fears to make their own decisions or fears of making mistakes. Right? So these are some very important questions the business leader will need to assess the readiness of the employees, the readiness of the organizations before they reorganization their team structures into these new ways of working. Today, we definitely see a big shift in the skills of our workforce. We see many organizations are embracing growth mindset to become a learning organization, to continuously transform itself in order to stay relevant in the eyes of the customer, to stay relevant in that industry. The successful digital business today are the ones who learn it all and not the ones who assume they know it all. And today, many organizations also recognize that they need to redesign their structures in order to enable seamless flow of value, seamless flow of skills, knowledge across their organization and even to the customers seamlessly, rapidly, and efficiently. And this is why we see there's a new form of team structures, for example, the cross-functional team, the agile team, the autonomous team that we have seen in the earlier presentation. And we know today in the COVID-19 situation or even post-COVID, the business environment will continue to be unpredictable and volatile. So the companies are also seeing the importance of freelancer, gig workers. They are able to supply the on-demand skills for the business to react to the fast changes, react to the shift of skills that they need to embrace all these volatile business environment, the VUCA environment. So next, we are going to look at what are the options that organizations can take to build the future-ready workforce. The recent McKinsey research revealed that 6 out of 10 jobs today have more than 30% of tasks that are technically automatable. Why is that so? If we think back and look at since industrial era, humans have been trained to work like a machine. everyone is basically working within their own functions. They have a set of tasks that they were expected to perform and with a specific skill set. And this is what we are still seeing how most people in the organization are working today after many decades. We often hear people are saying, oh dear, the robots, the machines are coming to take over my job. Think about it again. It's actually not the machines that take over the human job. In fact, humans have been working on machine jobs for many, many decades. Now is the time for machines to do what they should be doing. And humans should be trained to work like human. It's time to unleash the true human potentials and work hand in hand with the machines to form the best team. So human and machine should allow or should be doing what they are best at and joining the forces together. We know today, the machine, the automation, they are best at increasing the speed, enhancing the scalability and the accuracy. And for us human, our most valuable skills are our soft skills, our leadership skill, our creativity, which the machines will not be able to replicate or even do better than human. If you recall in 1997, IBM Deep Blue system beat the then world grand chess masters, Garry Kasparov. Today, if we were to ask, the best chess player is neither human or machine. In fact, it's the human teams working alongside with computer system. So technologies like AI, they are taking over some tasks from the human, but they are not taking the entire job from the human talent. In fact, we have to thank AI or the technologies for taking over some of these boring and routine tasks from us so that we can move on and learn new skills and perform more meaningful and more value-added tasks. As we continue to see using technologies to automate more and more tasks, this actually also free up some of the capacities in our employees. So the questions we want to ask ourselves, while we continue to use technologies to automate our tasks, we also have to see how the job role in our workforce will need to be defined so that the employees can learn new skills and take on a new kind of job role and continue to collaborate with the machines to drive the business forward. So many people think job redesigns means there is a reduced need of human employees since some of the tasks or the routine tasks can be automated. But this is not always true. Automation does not reduce the need of human talent, but it does change the type of the human talents that we need today. So as we continue to using technologies to automate tasks, as we continue to redefine job, the question we want to ask, what's our purpose? Is it just to reduce the cost of doing business, or we are thinking, creating new value by giving the opportunities for our employees to be reskilled or even upskilled? So look at this example, John, full-time employees, marketing managers, just like any other employees in the organization, he has a fixed job description with a list of tasks. Now, if we analyze the tasks performed by John today, we may see half of the tasks can be automated or even outsourced at a cheaper cost and with the better business, with the better results. So what do we do with John? Do we give him a golden handshake? Or perhaps a wiser decision, a wiser option is look at John's potentials. What can he learn? What are the new skills that John can gain in order for him to perform new tasks or even take on a new job role, continue to innovate new solutions, new value to continue to serve the business. So today, Many companies, when they redesign job for the purpose of cost reductions. But we know cost reduction is not enough, right, to stay competitive in our marketplace today. The great opportunity, in fact, lies beyond when we are able to redefine jobs to create free capacity for the workforce to create new value for the customer, for the business. If you look at the John example earlier, after his job roles being redefined, he may no longer tie to the fixed job descriptions. And in fact, his work outcome can become more dynamic, right? He can work on different type of projects using different set of skills to meet the changing business need. So to build the future-ready workforce, we can use these 4 B's talent strategies: buy, build, borrow, and boss, to acquire the talents, the skills at the right time, at the right cost, and from the right place. Of course, we can always buy new talents and bring them into our organization, especially those urgently needed skills to help our business to respond to the strong competitions in our marketplace, or even respond to the new opportunity that we see for our business. And also, with the good talent strategy in place, we can also analyze and anticipate what are the critical skills that we need to build into our workforce so that we are ready to embrace the future opportunities to serve our customers, to anticipate the next upcoming change of the industry. And with the robust training and development plans to constantly upskill and reskill our employee, this definitely also boosts the motivations of the employees to give their best performance, and also boosts a good employee retentions in our organizations. And for sure, we have to continue to maximize and leverage on technologies, for example, the chatbots, the RPA, to continue to automate those tasks with more efficiency at a lower cost whenever we can, and continue to free up human capacity to learn new skills, take on new job role, new tasks, to create different value for the business and the customers. And not to forget, we have options to look outside our organizations, to look for the right freelancer, the gig workers that can supply the on-demand skill as and when our business need them. In fact, the gig workers, the gig workforce, they have been in the headline since the COVID-19 started earlier this year. Unfortunately, they are the first group to lose their job, but they could be the first to be hired as the economy, as the companies recover from these pandemic disruptions. Today, we have to recognize the gigs economy no longer just supply the low-level skill that we are familiar with. We see there are many platform services that are able to supply the high-level skills of gig workers. For example, we can look for people who are able to help us to design software, develop software, digital marketing, and so on. Right? And today, the technologies has lowered the cost of hiring the freelancers with the digital platform that could help us to find the right match of the talent. We can also use blockchain to create performance-based contracts to engage this worker. However, there is also a great challenge that the business leader or the organization have to consider. That is how they are going to redesign their organization, how they are going to redesign the job role, so that some of these tasks can be performed by the freelancer, the gig workers seamlessly. And also, it is important for the business leader, the organization to take note that there is also important, there is a need for a mindset shift and even change of a working culture, so that these gig workers can be assimilated into the workforce seamlessly and integrate with their employees and be seen and recognized as one of the value creator for their business. All right, so I come to almost the end of my presentations. So would like to just go through some of the highlights that we have discussed earlier. So I started with looking at the importance of aligning our talent strategy and our business strategies. Then we asked where our business critical roles today. They are not necessarily always at the top of our org chart. Some of the critical roles can be in other parts of our organizations. We then look at who are the digital talents, what they do, what skills do they have, and how do we organize this digital talent with the right mix of skills to best serve our customer, to maximize our business performance. The best team today are the human and machines joining forces and collaborating together. And as we know, automations will continue. There will be more and more technologies will be able to perform some of the tasks with more efficiency at a lower cost. So we have to continue to see how to redesign the job role so that our employees be able to take on new roles to create different value and continue to collaborate with the machines to drive the business forward. And just now, we look at how we can use the 4B's talent strategies to build the future-ready workforce by acquiring the talents, the skills at the right time, right place, at the right cost. So with that, that is actually the end of my presentation this morning. I'll be happy to look at some of your questions and perhaps I can also take some time to answer them. Okay. Okay. So there is a question on what is the definition of digital savviness? What skill do these encompass? What do these digital savvy people come from? Is it based on what they study in school, or are you referring to digital natives? Well, okay, so actually this question actually covers quite a few aspects here. So maybe I'll just take it one at a time. When we say digital savvy, first of all, these are not digital experts that we sometimes think of, right? So digital savvy are people who are very much aware what are the technologies out there, what can the technologies do to make, to solve the problems differently, or even to create new opportunities for the business or even for the customers, right? So it's a matter of really sensing the environment, understand the concept of the technologies, understand the what the kind of technologies can do. It's not the how, right? The how part is where the technical experts, they are the one who know the how the technology works. But I think for a digital savvy professional, is really what can we do with these technologies to solve the problems differently, to look for new ways of working, to look for new ways to interact with the customers, right? So that definitely takes some, I would say, we need to also use the opportunity to explore, to look at what other organizations are doing, what other businesses are doing, and what are the feedback from the customer, and link all these different dots together to come up with some innovative way of using technologies, right? To make, to innovate new solutions or new value. Okay. Is there any platform to match organizations and freelancer? Yes, there are many. Just Google. On top of my mind, I know there's this, okay, so this name basically just slipped from my mind briefly. But yes, there are many. Just Google for freelancers or gigs platform. I'm sure you can find many out there. Okay, let me see what other questions that I can take on. Okay, how do we propose or convince a company to start an AI or digital department in a company? I think the first questions or the first thing we need to do is we will not be thinking of whether we want AI or we want digital or whatever technologies that are out there. I think the most important question is, what do we need to achieve as a business? What is our business visions, right? What is our purpose, right? What are the values that we want to deliver to the customers? And then with that vision, with that purpose, with the outcome crystallized and clearly defined, then we will see what kind of technologies that we need to bring our business forward to achieve this purpose, to achieve this vision. It can be AI, it can be other type of technologies. So it's always the business vision, the business purpose, the value proposition that come first, right? How can we best serve our customers to meet their needs? And then we will think, what are the technologies, what kind of digital departments that we need to form, what kind of skill that we need in order to realize these visions. Okay, there is one more question here that says, how to measure the employees' performance? How do you reward employees? Yes, there are many ways. I think we have seen, in the organizations today, we see the rewards, the recognition can come from in many forms, right? It can be in terms of employee experience, it can be in terms of financial reward, it can be in terms of recognitions. However, I have to say, going forward, I think what is one of the very, I would say, one of the very important reward, or rather important recognitions, I think the workforce or the employees are really appreciating right now, or even in the futures, is the opportunities to learn, the opportunities to grow their skill set. Right? I think this is one of the very important recognition or very important opportunities that employees, the talents, are looking for when they join any organization. Is really to give them the chance to learn, and of course to give them the chance to contribute, right, meaningfully to the organizations. Okay, let me see. I can still take on maybe a couple more questions. How and where can we spot companies that are running team structures? Yes, they are. You can see most of the companies, they are very successful today, right? And also the richest company in the world today, for example, the Amazon, the Google, the Netflix, Spotify. If you look at their organization chart, right, they looks very different, right? They looks like a network with different teams, and these networks are dynamics too, right? So that the teams are self-organization. So people will work with different teams at different time, depending on what the business need, right? During that period. Okay, let's see. What are the... Okay, what's your view on allowing employees to work on their pet projects to embed innovation in the company, like 20% policy the Google has? Let me see. I need to... Yeah. Who within the company should spear ahead such initiative, and do you think SG companies are ready for it? Yes, innovation is definitely it should be part of the DNA of every organization. It's no longer a special project. It's no longer a program, right? It's something that we have to live and breathe every day. How we all can be continue to innovate, continue to think of new ways of doing things. Now, I mean, we know there is a famous 20% policy that Google practiced 10 years ago. But essentially, it's really to create that space for the employees to think, to reflect, and to work on ideas that they may have that could help the companies. yeah, there are many ways to encourage innovations, and there is no one size fit all. So what I would say is really look at, first of all, the culture in the organizations, and also the purpose of innovations, right? I mean, the employees has to firstly understand what is the purpose of innovations, what are they trying to achieve, who are they innovate for, right? And I think to find what is the best way to encourage innovation in the organization, one of the suggestions I can give is, why don't ask your employees, right? Invite them to co-create, right? How can we create new ways of working, or how can we maybe put in some new practice that that employees can also buy in, and they are eager to contribute, right? How they can come together and drive these innovations culture for the companies. Okay, so I think that will be the last questions that I will take for these sessions. So thank you for all these good questions for me. And to end this webinar, I'd like to also invite you to stay on and join the rest of the webinar programs that we have lined up for you. Yeah, so till then, thank you and take care. Bye-bye.